SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
State Treasurer David McRae has put hundreds of millions back into the hands of Mississippi's citizens, expanding the state's affordable college and career savings program and also returning record amounts of unclaimed money. Check out how Treasurer David McRae's office can help you, your business, or your organization. Treasury.ms.gov.
And now, Sports.
Get ready, sports fans. It's time for Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the SuperTalk Mississippi app and on your Amazon Alexa devices. Chasing Foul Balls, your weekly source for all the sports news and interviews important to Southwest Mississippi. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by First Bank. And now, here's your host, Robbie Hamilton.
Well, good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome back. Chasing Foul Balls. Glad to get you started on officially football weekend. We've got high schools playing. We got community colleges playing. We got colleges getting kicked off. It's officially football time here in South Mississippi. What do you say, Wes? You glad to have it?
Best time of the year, Robbie.
I tell you what, all happened at one time, don't it?
Yes, sir.
Joining us this morning is our guest, Matt Stantz from Mississippi Gulf Coast Football. Keep us up to date what's going on down in that area. Also, Ross Haley with the Mississippi Association of Independent Schools. They have a new program called a podcast they're doing, Legends and Leadership. We'll talk to him about that. Joining us in the studio this morning, to my left, you heard from him just a little bit earlier. Glad to have you back. Wes Nunnery, the young gun, is here. How are you?
Top of the morning, everybody. I'm doing great, Robbie.
Hey, you sound like you're ready to fly, man.
I'm ready.
Speaking of old folks, to my right, the professor, Mr. Neil Randall. How are you?
Oh, I'm just proud to be here and good to see young Wesley again.
I tell you what, glad to have him back.
And we're missing our other, but do we need to tell where he might be?
The story is that Richard is gone to an AC/DC concert. Now, that's not electrical work. That's the rock band, AC/DC. So let's get this straight. Richard, the horse guy, the cow guy, is going to a hard rock concert.
I wonder if he wore his overalls to it.
Did he wear his boots that he wears out in the field?
Yeah.
Or did he wear his good boots? That's the real question. We'll find out when he gets back, if he makes it back. That's the question. AC/DC concert. Boy, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get to work. Before we get it started, last night football underway. Colleges. Houston Christian upsets Southeastern down in Hammond 34-28.
Oh, my.
In community college football, a tough one for the Bears playing the ranked East Mississippi team. They held on to the end, just couldn't quite pull it out. East Mississippi beat Southwest 14-6. And Mississippi Delta scores on the final drive of the game and kicks an extra point to defeat Colin. Mississippi Delta 25, Colin 24. And one other game in college ball, NAIA, Louisiana Christian upsets D1 Northwestern 42-37. So if the Thursday night start of the season is anything like we're fixing to have, that's a wild start to the football season.
Starting it off with a bang, aren't we, Robbie? Upsets all over the place.
An NAIA team beating a D1 team.
Unreal.
Whew. Mr. Randall, what do you think?
Well, at Louisiana Christian, for you young folks, that's what used to be Louisiana College.
Yep.
And they were in the old Gulf South with Northwestern and all the other Louisiana, not Gulf South, Gulf States Conference many years ago.
I didn't know we were going to get a history lesson, but go ahead.
Well, you've come to the right place.
That's what they say. Let's get started. Question number 1. Is Lane Kiffin leading Governor Landry, or is Governor Landry leading Lane Kiffin?
I think if you have to pick one, it's Kiffin leading Landry, because what Kiffin wants, Kiffin gets, apparently.
Yeah, he's still in the honeymoon stage down there, but I could see it taking a hard left turn at some point. But two of a kind, I think.
They are a great pair, aren't they?
They are that.
Second question. Do you really think the talking heads for LSU believe what they're telling us, or are they just following company line?
Probably following company line to a certain extent. I mean, you can't you can't upset the apple cart, where you make your bread and butter. So they're probably just towing the line a little bit.
Oh, I agree with Wes. I mean, they don't want to interrupt that deposit in the bank account every month. So they're going to say what they need to say and what they think the supporters want to hear.
Well, without going into this whole thing of why and what's going on and how it's going to take the whole hour, will college players that went pro or signed some type of pro contract, will they be allowed to play college football this year when it's all said and done?
When it's all said and done, yes, absolutely. I think they haven't proven to be able to lose a case yet that they bring to court, so why start now?
I agree with Wes. I hate to agree with him, but not that I hate to agree with him. I just hate that that's the way it's got to be. But my goodness,
But can the SEC win the case, not the NCAA?
I don't think so.
And enforce their penalties on the schools?
I don't think so. I think at this point it's going to become a battle of the wills, the state of Louisiana versus the SEC, and I don't see the state of Louisiana giving in.
Well, I certainly hate to see the SEC lose this one because I think they have right behind them.
Louisiana has to pull where they are now because they're in Louisiana court. Now, once this go to a federal court, does the power shift to the SEC? Do they have the power with the judges at a federal court that Louisiana's not going to have, that they did have in the Louisiana courts?
The power should shift, but will it? That remains to be seen. Don't know at this standpoint, but in theory it should.
And the thing about it is, the way the court systems work, the national championship game will be over and done by the time they come to any resolution.
Because a court case that was supposed to be in Louisiana on the 1st has been moved back to, what is the 5th now?
I believe so.
So it'll be interesting to see. Once they enjoin the SEC in the case, they move the actual hearing back from the 1st, I think it was, to the 5th. So I reckon that's the next big date. We'll stay around and see what happens. Who knows? Let's move on. Lost an icon, Neil. Dolly Parton passes away.
Boy, what a loss. I go back with Dolly when she was on the Porter Wagner show.
Here we go.
On Saturday afternoon.
Only Neil.
I really liked Dolly. I didn't care much for Porter.
Did you like Dolly?
Oh, I did. I like Dolly.
Enough said right there. There's kind of one person that everybody here talking almost all have nice things to say about it. And even when you die, people, that don't happen.
No, she was multi-generational and an icon and a legend, and it's a tough loss for sure.
Moving back into sports, would you be in favor of not having preseason polls, or should we have the preseason polls?
I'm just in favor of doing away with them, especially in this era of transfer portal and rosters changing every year, because nobody knows what anybody has going into the season, so it's all just guesswork anyway.
Yeah, but it's great for conversation around the water cooler.
Sells newspapers.
Oh, it's well,
something better.
Well, there's not that many newspapers out there anymore, but I'd hate to see them go. But it gives you a little something to talk about. Not that anybody knows anything. Same one's going to be in the top 10 every year anyway.
Do the polls affect how the end comes?
It's not supposed to.
Not supposed to.
Not supposed to. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Are you depressed after the Saints-Sterling exhibition game last week? Or is it just another preseason game?
I think it's just another preseason game, Robbie. From all reports, they looked good in the joint practices. I think they were just worn out, to be perfectly honest with you. They just looked tired. They had done 3 joint practices and 2 preseason games. I think it was in a span of 10 days. That's a lot of work in a short period of time. I don't put much stock in it myself.
Well, they're playing today, I believe.
They are.
And I guess today will be the first time the starting quarterback will come on the field.
They are actually not playing the starters due to all the injuries, so
really?
The starters will not play at all tonight.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I was going to watch it, but I think I'll pass.
Well, they're playing Dallas, so if the practice was any indication, it's probably going to be a pretty good fight.
I was fixing we watch the fight anyway. Huh? For you, Mr. Nunnery, USM and Mississippi State has canceled their football series. They're changing it just one game at Mississippi State because of the SEC change in schedules. What's your feelings there?
Expected. We all kind of expected this was going to come down when the SEC went to 9 conference games. You hate it because you love the game. It's always good when in-state teams play, but we definitely saw it coming.
When you go back and we talk about Southern Miss, what other things? Let's stay there. Name change of the football stadium and a new rendering of a new baseball, a change in the baseball facilities. What about that one?
Well, I'm in favor of the name change. It'll always be the Rock to all of us, regardless of what the official name is. But it's a nice new stream of revenue for sure. $13.7 million over 10 years. That's not chump change. And the baseball renderings, still a lot to go on that. Still a lot of fundraising to do.
Where's it at? Is it just in the drawing stage right now?
It is. They'll put together a plan for fundraising now to get that ball rolling. But it's a good first step, and it's well needed. Some of the things that are on that drawing have been needed for a long time. So it's high spirits in Hattiesburg right now.
ESPN ticker will be taken off the screen for all college football games. They want to push you to the website to see what's happening. What do you think, Mr. Randall?
I don't really care, but I guess for some of the people who wager on these games, that might be real important to them. But it's not going to bother me too much, if at all.
I agree, Professor. It's indifference to me. Most people get the score updates on their phone now anyway. They don't really watch the ticker anymore anyway. So
things have changed, haven't they?
Different era.
We used to just to watch to see what the scores were, to see what the news was, to keep up with what you watched the football game. You could keep up with what was going on everywhere else, but now you got to go to the app to find out what else is happening.
It wasn't that long ago, Robbie, that you tried to get your hands on the Sunday morning paper early to find out what happened across the weekend.
That's back when there were Sunday morning papers.
Agreed.
Well, the announcement for softball in our area, Southern Miss at Baylor, we had already talked about. They were coming to Southwest Community College to play a series as far as against the Southwest Lady Bears there. Now, Colin has made the announcement that Mississippi State softball is coming to Colin to play the Lady Wolves. So a lot of college softball drifting its way down into South Mississippi this fall.
I think it's a good thing for both sides too, Robbie. There's a lot of good talent in JUCO League, and of course, bringing Division I schools, here locally is good for the fans and the local people and community. So nothing but pluses all the way around, as far as I'm concerned.
And a lot of outstanding softball talent on the high school level in the Southwest Mississippi area, also. And
finally, Dr. Pepper has released their commercials for the Dr. Pepper Fansfield campaign this football season. Guess who the villain is?
Oh, I don't know, Robbie. I don't have a clue. I can't even imagine.
Lane Kiffin making a little bit more money. That's all that is. A little bit more publicity. Good casting, though.
Oh, it's a great commercial if you haven't seen the spot. It's nice.
Good cast, that's all I'll say. Welcome back. Matt Stats from the Gulf Coast to be with us. Ross Haley talking some MAIS football. It's all coming on Chasing Foul Balls. Welcome back. Chasing Foul Balls Friday morning here in Southwest Mississippi. Off to a flying start, no doubt about that. Sure, not short of topics, are we?
Definitely not. There's a lot of knowledge swirling around this morning.
A lot more with the microphone turned off sometimes than with the microphone turned on
always
sometimes.
is.
But that's the way it goes. Let's head down to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Join us, our buddy Matt Stats with Gulf Coast High School Football. How are you, Matt? Good to talk to you this morning.
Yes, Robert, it is great and a little bit hot down here on the coast, but certainly enjoy being on the Chasing Foul Balls show. What a privilege it is. Hopefully I'll bring you some information about some coast football.
We're glad to have you with us. Is today kind of like Christmas morning with high school football starting for you, covering all the Gulf Coast?
Oh, most definitely. In fact, it's funny you say that because at 7 o'clock this morning I posted Coast Football helmet with a Santa hat on it and saying it's Christmas time. So, yes, it definitely is Christmas time down here. I mean, everybody was waiting for it. I know Ocean Springs played last night, but 16 games tonight involving Coast teams. So definitely time to unwrap the presents.
Well, I have to change the way I'm going to put this question. I had it in a lot different way, but let's go there first. Ocean Springs was listed in polls everywhere from 2 to 7 or 8 or 9, all over the place. And then last night, Meridian comes to Ocean Springs and hands them a 47-9 loss. Their biggest loss in the last 25 years. What's the deal? Why was there so much difference in the opinion of Ocean Springs football this year?
Yeah, well, depending on their reputation, because they've been there for all these years. They finally lost last year, a 25-game region losing streak to Gulfport, and ended up losing the region for the first time, and they hadn't won it in 4 years. So they finally lost it there. But they lost a lot of players, 16 overall players last year, so I think that's a big deal. Coach Bramlett there, always, a great coach, took over from Coach Pennock, who went to Gulfport. But that's where I think it is. They just don't have the experience. I have them in our poll down here, did have them ranked 6th. So we did have them up there in the top 10. But, yes, I've seen some polls, including Max Preps, have them 2nd. So it's just their reputation is what it was. They just couldn't get it going last night. I actually saw highlights. I couldn't watch the game. I was calling the game at Gulf Coast for MGCCC. But Tony Vance, their new head coach here at Meridian, who was at Hattiesburg, brought them to the state championship. This is his first year. He took last year off, so he's back coaching at Meridian. And, man, they just did a great job. I think a combination of Coach Vance and then just the lack of players that they lost, the 16 players they lost. It doesn't matter, when you're returning starters, and they just didn't have the starters. I don't think this will show the season the outlook of it. They won't win the region. I don't have them winning the region. Could they win the region? Yes, they could. But I have them still making the playoffs, and people will overreact because, yes, they did lose 47-9 at home. And then last year they did beat Meridian 35-0 up at Meridian, so it's kind of a payback for them. But I think Ocean Springs still will be good, but not at that level they have been.
You can straighten us out on this. I saw the post yesterday that says this is going to be the last time tonight that Moss Point and Pascagoula is going to play football. What's the deal there?
Yes, I did see the same post, and they've been playing for quite a while. Of course, they're crosstown rivalries, and the new region comes out next season, and that's when you reschedule the non-region games. So I can't pinpoint and say this is the reason why this coach may not or the city may not, but I don't know exactly why they're not going to play anymore. And if it's official, I mean, I did see posts that they were not going to play Pascagoula has dominated that series. And in fact, the last 2 years, Moss Point has not scored in either game. And I do my predictions last night, and I do have Moss Point scoring there, but not winning. So to answer your question, I really can't pinpoint and say, hey, this coach from this team or this city saying, hey, we're not going to play it, because it hasn't been like that I know of any kind of altercations between the two. Sometimes, teams won't play each other. But, yeah, it's kind of disappointing there because they have played for quite a while. But then again, Pascagoula has really dominated, being now a 6A school and Moss Point being a 3A school.
Matt, this is Neil Randall. Talking about Gulf Coast football, Gulfport won the 7A championship last year. Been a while since a coast team won that classification, and they're going to Picayune to play tonight, which should be a really good game. And of course, in the predictions that you put out, you've got Gulfport number 1 in the 7A district and D'Iberville number 2. And if I recall, these two had a real shootout last year in the regular season. Talk a little bit about those matchups.
Yes, I do have the predictions, like I said, to come out. I have Gulfport actually losing to Picayune. It's just hard to play in Picayune. Now I have it 27-21. They did lose the key components, Gulfport did, but they still have some great defensive players and offense in a Mosiah Frederick, who'll be running the ball, but Jackson Wedgeworth, the sophomore quarterback that will replace Parker Nettles, and then Cooper Crosby, they were two great focal points there last year at Gulfport. So, that's why I say I have it a 6-point win at Picayune. Picayune did win last year when Gulfport threw that interception, seconds left in the game, and, of course, went on, like you said, to win the state championship. Picayune, still a great team. Coach Stogner, Xavier Dennis there, the running back that had over 3,000 rushing yards. He'll be a factor on that part. As far as, the other question with D'Iberville, yes, I have them second ranked. They do go play in Gulfport there in the middle of October at Gulfport, of course, opening up their new stadium, which is on campus now, not at Milner Stadium, even though like the All-Star game, North-South All-Star game will be at Milner Stadium. I believe, or if not mistaken, it will be at Gulfport, the new stadium. So big difference there. But I do have Picayune winning tonight against Gulfport. And like I say, D'Iberville, Coach Ladner there, his 5th season. He missed the playoffs the first 2 years. He made the playoffs the last 2 years, but has not come out with a victory. And it wouldn't surprise me if they win the region. I still have Gulfport winning the region. They have a lot of players coming back. Just the only experience level is at Jackson Wolverton as sophomore quarterback there at Gulfport.
Matt, Wes Nunnery here. Several teams from the coast area made it to the state title game. Gulfport, as Neil mentioned, Poplarville was another. Who in your mind has the best chance this year to make it back to the title game or possibly win it from the coast area?
If I had just one team, because I feel Gulfport will get back there, but if I'm putting my chips on one team, that is Poplarville, who has a lot coming back. I know they lost to Columbia last year, who went on to be undefeated, the only team in the state undefeated to win the state championship, but they did lose, like I say, at Columbia. But I believe Poplarville had one team to put it all on. I would go with Poplarville. I still feel comfortable with Gulfport making it back there. And even Picayune, I mean, they did lose some players, and we know that they're a running team, and they have a brutal schedule. That's what Coach Stogner likes. But Poplarville just has, obviously Keys and Lejeune, and, I mean, they have a couple players there that are a lot of players coming back, and they'll get a test tonight as they will travel to West Harrison, who beat them last year. But I look for Keys, got the offer for and actually signed with University of Miami. He does have a real chance at breaking the coast rushing record, that is. We'll see. He fell short last year. If he would have made it to the state, I believe he would have broken the record, but fell a couple hundred yards short. And I do have that posted on my Facebook page, the coast records. But, yes, indeed, I would go with Poplarville to get back to state.
Matt, this is Neil again. If you would, share with us who the blue-chip recruits are going to be on the coast this year.
Yeah, of course, that's what we do here, to shine the light on all the players. I mean, you have Jordan Ramsey with Biloxi, Unfortunately, Keon McNeil with Gaucher, that star quarterback there, he's just a sophomore. He got injured. He looks to be back by region play. Jason Gallad with Pascagoula, the quarterback, he's up and coming. Mentioned, Wolverton as far as the experience to get there. Xander Howard with Stone is a good look. Aiden Green, a running back, also with Stone. They're going to be opening up their new stadium here in a few weeks as they play their games right now at Perk, and they have been playing a lot at Gulf Coast. DeAndre Williams, defensive DB from Gulfport, he's a player to watch there. There's so many of them here. Austin McGinnis, who looks to replace Jordan Stapleton at West Harrison, will be there. Before mentioned Ahmad, Frederick Majaya, if I say his name correctly, at Gulfport, the running back, looks to make some noise there for Gulfport again to take over for Cooper Crosby. So, I have a whole list I can go over. Austin Tubbs, the wide receiver from Gaucher, the senior. He's just a stud there. The other wide receiver from Pass Christian, and that is Stubbs. So, it's just, Keys, obviously, Ty Keys from Poplarville. So it's just a plethora of star players down there on the coast, and that's what we like to do, is to shine the light on them, get them to that next level. And I even shined the light on the long snapper from Gulfport, who had that lost that snap to get to the field goal, extra point to win that game last year, the state championship game. So I try to shine the light on a lot of players that don't get the recognition, but those are a few that have gotten recognition. Joe Lambert, from Poplarville, he's an offensive lineman / defense. So I can go on, but I know we don't have so much time. Justin Wedgeworth from Hancock, the quarterback, taking over from Casey Cannon, who was a phenomenal quarterback last year. We'll see what he does tonight against Stone. That is Justin Wedgeworth out of Hancock.
Matt, you've been doing this for 25 years on the coast. How has football changed on the Mississippi Gulf Coast in the last 25 years?
Yes, it has definitely changed, especially as far as the social media part. There's a lot of pages that have come up. I was here all along and started a page in 2010 and did the record book. So as far as the players have gotten better, of course, social media part of it. The coast itself, again, we are in 6 coastal counties, 25 teams. We just added Christian Collegiate. They moved up to 11-man football. So 25 coast teams. And out of the last 19 seasons since 2007, 17 out of 19, there has been a coast team representative in the state championship games. Of course, last year Gulfport, and then 2024 when Gaucher was there and Poplarville. Of course, they finally won their 4A state championship. So there was just a couple seasons where there hasn't been a coast team represented. So there's great teams here on the coast, and that's what I'm part of it. You have other media outlets down here to shine the light on the coast players. So as far as the change, we have a lot of great coaches. With Coach Beach with Poplarville, he is now the longest tenured head coach at 13 years. So, we do have coaches. We had 4 this year that came on new. Coach Green out of Pascagoula, he was with Gulfport, the defensive coordinator. He's getting his first coaching job. So I know people had asked, why isn't there more coast teams competing every year? Well, 17 out of 19 is pretty good having a coast team up there. Not necessarily that they won. Picayune won, Poplarville won, Gulfport won. And as you mentioned, last time somebody in the highest classification was Moss Point to win, and that was back in 5A before Gulfport won last year. So there has been change, and I did my own opinion write-up and where I think, why coast schools are not competing in and year out or getting state titles. And that is just a factor of there's a lot of schools down here within a certain proximity of each other, so you're spreading the talent around, not to make excuses, but that's partly of it. But, hey, Gulfport won it, and we're proud of them, and we'll look to get some teams back up there at Mississippi State there in December.
We talked high school, but last night you were doing Mississippi Gulf Coast football with my buddy, Mr. Wayne. What did Gulf Coast look like last night in their 27-21 win over Coahoma?
Yes, it was no turnovers by either team. 1 sack by Coahoma, so a little bit surprising that Gulf Coast
Well, we sound like we've lost Mr. Stats there. They played last night at Gulf Coast. They were a winner 27-21. Gulf Coast defeated Oklahoma. A lot closer game, I think, than most people thought that would be.
Absolutely. Always a lot of surprises on opening night in the Mississippi JUCO circuit.
Definitely.
We'll come back. We'll talk with Mr. Haley about the MAIS right after this. Chasing Foul Balls. Glad to have you along with us on this Friday morning. If you're looking for a bank that feels like home, First Bank here for you. 14 locations across southern Mississippi. They're your local bank for checking, savings, loans, and more. Now, whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or you just need everyday banking made easy, First Bank is ready to help. You can stop by your nearest branch or visit firstbankms.com. First Bank, where customers and community matter most. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, joining us on the phone from the MAIS, Mr. Ross Haley. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, glad to have you, Ross. We got together a long time ago when you were doing MRA football, so it's been a while we've known each other.
It has. I've had a lot of good experiences at Park Lane Academy.
Give us your exact title. What are you doing now? You've moved from MRA to the MAIS. What's the title for Ross Haley?
My title is the Chief Operating Officer of Athletics.
Now, that's a big title. What is what are your responsibilities?
Well, it's a newly created position at the MAIS office, so we're still trying to. I'm still asking a lot of questions and feeling my way through things. Chris Chance and David Drake have been doing a fantastic job with athletics in the MAIS for a long time, but we're offering more sports. We're trying to offer more. We're trying to improve the experience for athletes, for families, for coaches, and we're trying to make it a more robust experience all the way around. So we added this position. And Barrett Donahoe is our executive director, and he came and found me back in February, and we talked a little bit about this, and it's something that I felt like was a good opportunity for me. So I'm here. I'm here working with David Drake and with Chris Chance, who've been doing it for a long time, and we're just trying to make athletics better in our association. Before you get into your new program, how's it going to be? Not broadcasting football on Friday night. It's the MRA played last week, and my son's a sophomore. He's a junior in college now. He's just started his junior year in college, and there was a concert Friday night, and he called me and he said, "Hey, Dad, there's this concert in Jackson Friday night. Can we go?" So I just I went to a concert Friday night. It was very odd for me, but it was enjoyable. So I'm going to miss calling those games is one of the favorite parts of my job that I have. I'm gonna miss getting to do that, but it's been a great transition for me so far.
Ross, how times have changed to where you go to a concert on Friday night instead of a high school football game.
Well, when your 21-year-old son calls you and asks you to do something with him, you pretty much take him up on it, whether you like it or not, and it's even better because I liked the opportunity I had to spend time with him.
There you go. The new program, Legends and Leadership. It's a podcast that y'all started from the MAIS. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. The MAIS Legends and Leaders podcast, and this is an idea that I had several years back. Shane Blanton and I actually talked about doing this several years back. It just didn't materialize. And then when Barrett and I were talking throughout last spring about me coming over, this is one of the things I mentioned to him, and he told me he said, let's take it and run with it. So we've partnered with the Frascona Law Firm here in Jackson. And the Frascona Law Firm, they have 2 or 3 other podcasts that they're filming right now. So they have a studio set up in Jackson, and we're able to line our guests up. We're able to show up, film the podcast, and then they're out there on the website. But the the plan for the website, the plan for this Legends and Leaders podcast has been, let's get as many of the older generation of people that helped start the MAIS, and let's get an oral, basically an oral history. It's a video and oral history now, but we wanted to get those folks of the, the first generation folks of the MAIS, what was the MPSA, to tell their stories and just to tell their memories, their fun memories, their the tough times they went through to get us to where we are today. We want to be able to celebrate the great things that have happened a long time ago in our association, which is going to set us up for future guests where we can brag about the things that our younger people are doing in our association now. But we want to be able to showcase the trials and tribulations and great memories also of those folks who set us up for success in our league today.
Well, one of the first interviews you did was with somebody this area is well aware with, Bill Hurst. What was your thoughts after recording the interview with Bill Hurst?
Well, I've gotten to meet Coach Hurst several times, different track meets. One of the stories I talked about with Canton Academy going down to Centerville to play when I was in high school, and Coach Hurst he's phenomenal. He's a legend across our entire state, not just in Southwest Mississippi, but across our entire state. He's been incredibly successful, and not only has he been incredibly successful winning football games, he's been incredibly successful molding and shaping young people into being good people across our association and across our state and across the Southeast. So Coach Hurst, he's a fine man, and he's an incredible football coach, but really a fine man is the main thing, and that's what we want our association to produce, is fine men and fine women that go out and make a difference in the world in which they choose to be a part of.
Ross, this is Neil Randall. Thanks for joining us this morning. But take just a second, if you will, and share with our listeners who exactly Carol Rigby is.
Carol Rigby, she started her career at Chamberlain Hunt, I believe, if I remember correctly. But the people across the MAIS know Carol Rigby as the head of school at Copiah Academy. She spent the majority of her career as the head of school at Copiah Academy, and she's another one that when I was in school at Canton Academy, and you'd go to Copiah to play football, or you go to Copiah to run track or play basketball, and Miss Rigby was always around, and the kids that you knew at Copiah had a lot of respect for her, and they felt like she could, they felt like she was somebody you could be nice, that she was going to be nice to you, and it was fun to be around her a little bit when you were at those events. But the kids at Copiah also knew that they didn't want to mess anything up while Miss Rigby was around either, because she was firm but fair.
Ross, Wes Nunnery here. To talk about somebody you maybe have lined up, scheduled to interview, or somebody that you hope to interview that you're most excited about on this podcast.
Well, I'll tell you one that we just interviewed that'll be good for y'all's listeners to hear is Charlie Newland was one of our guests that we have filmed him, but he hadn't made it. They hadn't finished all the production stuff of it, but I think it was just a couple of weeks ago when we had Coach Newland on. So that one's going to be incredible to get to visit about. It was we filmed it just before Mr. Billy Swindle passed away. So Coach Newland and we got to talk a little bit about Billy Swindle being the head of school at Park Lane for a long time. Coach Newland had a fantastic career in the southwest part of the state. There's so many people that we're gonna get on this podcast eventually. We can't film them all right now, but I have a really extensive list. Ken Jackson is one that we're certainly going to have on there at some point. We'll get some great stories out of Ken Jackson and his time at Park Lane before he moved on to Southwest Community College. But there's so many people that did so many great things for our association early in the association's career, and we just want those stories out there. We want people to be able to go back and listen. We're working on getting folks from the Golden Triangle up around Starkville and Columbus and West Point. We want people from the Delta. We want people we have great people in Southwest Mississippi we want to cover our entire association and be able to celebrate all parts of our association.
Let's look at the football in the MAIS for this year. Who do you consider to be the top team or teams in the MAIS this year?
I think that I think a lot of people are looking around and wondering which one of the big four is going to be able to separate themselves from the other. Those four Jackson schools. I think that's going to be a battle all the way through. When you look at those non-metro schools, Park Lane, and look, Park Lane may end up being the best of all of them. Who knows? They have a great matchup tonight with Jackson Prep in Flowood, and that'll go a long way to showing where Park Lane stacks up into that upper tier of teams across the state. But I think Park Lane and I think Magnolia Heights is going to be in the mix right there. Pillow Academy showed, they had a real big win over Heritage Academy last week, so Pillow's going to be right there in that mix as well. I think they're, it's early in the year, and it's going to be a battle. I think a lot of teams have they have great non-conference schedules. So many of our coaches across the association have taken the attitude of let's go schedule teams outside, let's go schedule some teams outside of our conference or else even outside of the MAIS and try to play the best competition we can play so we can be the best team we can be later on in the year. Ron Rushing at Park Lane has done that. Jackson Academy has a team coming to them from Mobile tonight. They'll be playing McGill-Tulane. Jackson Prep played a team out of Mobile last week. MRA has been to Ravenwood, Tennessee. Last week, they're going to go to Jefferson Davis County this week and play Lance Mancuso and those guys at Jefferson Davis County, always a great public school program. So, it's so early in the year, and there's a lot of unknowns. Jackson Prep's a lot more experienced than they were last year. Jackson Academy lost a lot of kids. MRA lost a lot of kids. Hartfield lost a lot of kids. So it's going to be interesting to watch and see how this football season unfolds.
One more question outside of the program. There's a lot of discussion about sideline costs that's coming out right now about being charged to be on the sideline in a high school football game. Do you have that background of basically being involved in that? What's your feeling of this?
I can certainly see both sides of it. The schools, so many look at it and say, these people are on our campus, and after they say they're going off in their money, and we want a little bit of that. The schools want to get in a little bit on that. But at the same time, those people can say, the photographers get down on there and they say, look, you're getting so much publicity that the publicity that you're getting from our pictures on social media are the payment. And, it's just, both sides have really valid points, and it's going to be, there's got to, it's a tough, there's no great answer, right? If you're a photographer who wants to get out on the sideline and take some pictures and go sell those pictures, then you want to be able to sell those pictures and be able to make as much money as, within reason as you can. And if you're a school, do you let people come on there and make money off of your kids and off of your campus for nothing? So, I think it's gonna die back down and kind of settle back in. And I think maybe there's a little bit less of a cost. I've seen some of them put out there $250 for the season, $300 for the season. I think that's a little high, but if you ask one of those guys, it's a freelance photographer, say, hey, just pay us $100 for the year and come on campus and take as many pictures as you want. I don't think nearly as many people would have a problem with that, but it's up to the individual schools. We're a group of independent schools, and we're not gonna put any type of policy in place for our entire association. So it's up to those schools to navigate that landscape and do the best they can.
Who's next up for Legends and Leaders? What will we see next?
Well, like I mentioned, we have filmed. I had it pulled up here just a second ago. I think most people have seen Bill Hurst is he's the latest one that got released, and next the Jan Sojourner will be released on Tuesday coming up. Jan Sojourner, longtime girls basketball coach at Jackson Academy. Les Triplett is he's in the queue coming up after Jan Sojourner, and Peter Jernberg, longtime head of school at Indianola and Jackson Academy. Mike Kennison has already been a guest with us. So lots of great MAIS people coming up. We, like I mentioned, we've already talked to Charlie Newland. He's not on there yet. Charlie Newland, I'm trying to think of who else we had during that day. Richard DeWeese is one that we've recorded with Richard DeWeese. We've recorded with Charlie Newland, and we've actually moved into some younger people. We've recorded one with Connor Griffin, a former baseball player at Jackson Prep, who's playing with the Pirates now, and we've recorded one with Josh Hubbard, MRA from MRA, playing at Mississippi State now. So, like I mentioned, we want to celebrate the history of our association, but we also want to brag a little bit about the current kids in our association and the immediate future of our association. So we've had a great time getting to talk to some of our more experienced people, and we're starting to move into some younger people as well.
Ross, how do you go about watching Legends and Leaders? Where can we find it on the net?
Absolutely. If you'll go to the MAIS website, msais.org, you can click on athletics, and then you can find Legends and Leaders down the left side. So just going to the MAIS website and clicking on athletics is the easiest thing to do. You can also go to MAISsports.org. And honestly, you can, for those folks that go to YouTube and search things, you can just go straight to YouTube and type in MAIS Legends and Leaders, and it should pop up for you. But it's available on YouTube. It's available on Spotify podcasts, most of the podcast platforms. It's available there, and you can, it is a video. It's a video, so you can go watch it. But a lot of people just put it on Spotify and drive down the road and listen. So we have a great set, and I'd encourage everybody to go watch it. But if you're just in your car and you just want to listen, that's okay too.
Ross, thanks for taking the time on this Friday morning to be with us. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you all so much. I appreciate what y'all do for high school sports across Southwest Mississippi. Y'all have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you, Ross. Good to talk to you again.
All right, goodbye.
Well, guys, Ross Haley and Matt Stetz, some different guys. First time to talk to these guys. A little bit different look. Before we get out of here, we got 6 games we need to pick. Time's running out. Park Lane and Prep, who you got?
I'm going to pick the local flavor. I'm going to go Park Lane.
Well, they're playing on the road, and as Ross said, Park Lane won last year. I'm guessing Jackson Prep's going to be looking for revenge, and I'm going to go with the home team, Jackson Prep.
An interesting cross. Hartfield traveling to Columbia. Both of these kind of rated at the top of their MAIS and MHSAA. Who you got there, Neil?
Well, I'm going to go with the home team there, but I don't know much about either one of them. So I'll go with the Columbia Wildcats.
It'd be hard for me to pick against Hartfield. They have more kids to choose from, so I'm going to go Hartfield.
They just reload, don't they?
They do.
Did Neil say something he didn't know nothing about?
That doesn't happen very often.
That's highly unusual.
Well,
we might have to have Mr. Bullock clip that one for future use. We don't hear that very often.
Well, Cole Tylertown. Wes, who you got? At Tylertown.
At Tylertown. Tylertown's always got a lot of speed, but I think McComb's got a chance to be pretty good again. I'm going to pick McComb.
McComb's got a lot of talent and a pretty darn good coach, so I'll go with the Tigers on the road tonight.
BA and Silliman. Brookhaven Academy traveled to Silliman.
I don't know.
Brookhaven Academy won last week.
Okay. I don't know a lot about either team. I guess I'll go with Brookhaven.
I'll go with Wes there because I hate to say it, but I don't know much about either one of them.
Oh, 2-in-1 episode.
I tell you what. Two of the top teams in the public schools start the season against each other. Brandon travels to Tupelo tonight. That ought to be a real shootout up at Tupelo.
That might be one who has the ball last, might be the one that ends it. It's at Tupelo, you say?
At Tupelo.
I'll go with Tupelo.
On the blue field.
I'll go with the Golden Wave on the blue field.
Another one, final one, top of the list as far as public schools go. Starkville making the trip over to Oak Grove tonight. Two of the top-rated teams in the state. Who you got, Neil?
I'll take the Yellow Jackets of Starkville.
I'll go the other way. I'll take Oak Grove.
Or it'll be a fun night. This is unusual to get this many ranked teams in high school playing each other on the first night of the season.
We're really starting it off with a bang this year. A lot of good matchups early.
Mr. Randall?
Oh, I agree totally. And it's a great time of the year, and it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. Out at Southwest last night, I thought the weather was conducive. It could have been, really steamy, but it wasn't.
It was conducive.
Conducive. Him and Lee Wilson are using big words that we haven't to try to figure out what's going on. One final thing before we get out of here. I thought the Southwest band last night, the Big Bear Band, was very, very good for their halftime show.
Oh, they really were. They really were.
That'll do it for this Friday. Thanks to Matt Stats on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for being with us. Also, Ross Haley with the MAIS talking about leaders and legends. You can just go to the website, take a listen at it. The Bill Hurst interview is already up, and it's really interesting to hear him talk about how people had to draw him back from those practices he used to have, how hard they were. Now people tell him, look, Coach, you got to back off just a little bit.
Living legend.
Living legend. We'll be back with you next Friday. Speaking of living legends, Wes and Neil will probably be with us. Thanks for being with us, chasing foul balls.
Before the night will let the music play, you remember how it used to be. I love the way that you would dance with me, rocking and rolling till the clock unwinds, and then we'd holler out one more time. Don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over. Well, the band just started to play my favorite song. I just found my baby and I want to get a chance to hold her. So don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over. I said don't turn out the lights, don't turn out those lights, don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.